And hello, hello, greetings and salutations one and all. Peace. Namaste, hi. Welcome back and thank you once again for tuning in. I super appreciate your interest. It's awesome. Not sure what's going on with me these days, but I seem to be going through some kind of creative spurt. I'm chalking it up to the shifting alignment of planets and other cosmic celestial bodies up above, because as things move around up there, they certainly affect and create effects in things down here on our planet, including us. So I'm going to go with that and continue moving forward. In this video, I am inspired to share with you a quick meal idea incorporating veggies, some of which have begun to wilt a little bit, like some tomatoes and some leafy greens. So I decided, okay, let's make a veggie cook-up using some delicious ingredients and also incorporating some canned salmon. I'm not sure if you've ever had this before, but having canned salmon is a great way to increase or include a boost of protein into the regular diet. And since I will be working out as well, I do need to keep the protein up. So without further ado, I shall introduce you to the starting lineup. In this corner here we have leafy greens. Now, washing these vegetables, it didn't take too much time. The longest part was washing up the leafy greens, and I'm sure that if you've ever tried washing up leafy greens that are starting to turn, it can be a little tedious. But I figured using this time for something healthy and beneficial and not hurrying to go jump in front of YouTube or some other electronic device such as the computer and such. So I figured, you know what, I need to step away from spending too much time in front of the screen, give my eyes something different to focus on, and maybe be more attentive to overall health and share what I'm inspired to do with you in case you might be inspired too. So this all aligns with being healthy for the winter, during which time, you know, we can become susceptible to illness and whatnot because our bodies are not regulating properly because of the cold and fluctuating temperatures and such. So one way we can keep ourselves healthy is by ingesting healthy foods instead of relying on pre-made meals that pretty much really help to support the pharmaceutical industry, if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things. But I'm not going to get too lectury about that. Let's move on to the plan at hand. So here we have in this corner some leafy parsley and also, where are we? Here we go, leafy coriander. Now these are not solely intended to be garnishes. These leafy greens contain minerals and nutrients that may not be provided by another vegetable, for example. So it's really good. They're not just meant to be decorations on the plate. They're meant to be ingested, but make sure you know where they're sourced from. So next to the leafy greens, let's see if I can get my finger here, we have some broccoli, also some celery. There are some tomatoes which were beginning to turn, so they were getting a little bit wrinkled, and at that stage I popped them into the freezer knowing that I would one day need them for some kind of saucy meal. So next to the tomatoes, I do have some spicy green Thai chilies to add a little bit of zest and zinginess to this meal. And next to that, the yellow ones are yellow peppers, regular sweet peppers. So we have the celery. We also have some mushroom, so that's 1 head of portobello mushroom, and there's also a red bell pepper. I told you about the celery already. And here we have a little shallot. Underneath the shallot is a can of salmon. Next to that is some organic diced or minced garlic. Behind that is the Celtic sea salt. To add another depth of flavor to the mix, I'm going to incorporate some Dijon mustard. Just a little bit, but I really love Dijon mustard, so if you like it, use it. If you don't, well, don't. Next to that, I have some hot sauce. It's a brand that you can find on Amazon. It's called Damien's Hot Sauce, and this one is the orange version. It's a little bit sweet, but also tangy. I believe it's made from habaneros. And next to that, we have some organic dried bay leaves. Now, bay leaves are also really, really good to help support our immune system. So, it's going to be a tasty, comforty type of saucy, spicy meal, but it's also filled with so many good foods that I know that I will feel fortified afterwards. Oh, and in front of the plate right here are 3 little organic cherry tomatoes that I've plucked from the plant that I am nurturing in my apartment. And of course, here we have my cleaver. This is my most favorite knife. It makes me feel kind of like Crocodile Dundee. Remember that part where he's like, "That's not a knife," and he pulls out the huge machete and says, "This is a knife." Yeah, that's what this makes me feel like. And under there is my cutting board. So having introduced the starting lineup, everything's been washed and rinsed and ready to chop up and such. So we will move on to that phase of the process. Now I'm going to reposition a little bit so you can get a better view while I'm chopping. One moment, please. Alrighty, and we're back. Here is the new setup. I have a little bowl here for the waste that will be generated by chopping up. And I think once we have a nice knife handy and ready to be used, you're familiar with how to use it properly, chopping up becomes a breeze. So I need to rinse that for a second. So what should I start with? Let us begin with, I think it's a good idea to start with the onion because it's the driest ingredient of them all. After that, we'll start chopping up the rest. Chewy. Don't move the tripod, please. So I hope everything is going well in your world. Things are super busy on my side, work-wise. Chewy! Stop moving the camera. You're gonna wreck my angles. Why are you being like that? Sorry guys. Chewy wants to play along as well, and she's rubbing on Chewy. Psst. She's rubbing on the tripod. So let's see if the angle got disrupted. No, we're still okay. Good. Sorry for the back and forth, really apologize for that. Alrighty, so you can chop your onions however you wish, of course. Here, I've sliced it lengthwise. Some people slice it along the equator. I'm just going to chop it up real fast here. La 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 la. December 3rd. No, what's the date today? Yeah, it's December 3rd. I've been eating very healthy for about a week and a half now. And in addition to seeing physical changes in myself, which I'm really pleased with, the waistline is slimming down and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to these are going to yield and transform me into. I like adventures. So we've got the celery. Now, in addition to seeing physical gains, I'm also noticing mental gains as well. So more mental clarity, I'm able to focus and take care of more things at work without needing snacks along the way. Before I'd have a donut or maybe a hash brown or two to help get me through, but so far I'm subsisting on some juice, healthy juice. I'll share my healthy juice idea with you soon in another video. And water. Incorporating lots of water. Now, we do have the notion that water is important in the summertime. But let me tell you, it is as equally as important, if not more so, during the winter when we're susceptible, or not susceptible, but we're living in dry heat with the furnaces and heating systems that are in use throughout the cold months. So yes, I've noticed that if I don't regulate my water intake, my skin definitely becomes more dried out with my lips and whatnot. Like, we all go through these things, right? So we gotta moisturize from the inside out. My sister has a really great saying, and it's like, change from the inside out. It's from the inside out. Everything is from the inside out. We kind of get lulled into thinking that we can fix what ails us from the outside in, but it really doesn't work like that. We develop from the inside out, right? Think about it. So once we know what to do, how to do it, and what ingredients to use, and how much sleep to get, and how much water to drink, like, being healthy and wealthy in that regard becomes pretty simple and straightforward once you get the pattern down packed in your system. It's all about acclimatizing. So we've been conditioned since little to believe many, many things. And it's up to us to continue learning as we grow. Some people think that once you're out of school, it's time to stop learning, and that only the students who are in school are the smarty pants in the world. But that's not true. Some of us are students for life. Me, as an example, I definitely love being a student, but I don't love being taught anymore. I'm what do you call it? An autodidact. I love learning for myself. So we have some broccoli already chopped up. The celery is ready. The onion or shallot. And this, I'm going to keep it a little bit rustic, so I'm going to keep all the leaves on. We're going to cut the broccoli into little florets so that they incorporate well with the other vegetables in this. It's going to be mostly a stir fry, and then we're going to add the can of tuna to it. And in that, we'll have a nice hearty meal that can be made into a wrap with some arugula, fresh arugula. And, or you can make some quinoa. I love having this with quinoa. After that, I feel so, well, after, everything's processed by my system and nutrients go where they need to and whatnot, I feel so strong that that's when I feel like I'm in my element. Okay, so see, broccoli is already done. Peppers are almost ready. So tell me, what is one of your most favorite go-to meals? And do you like cooking? I really like cooking. There was a time when I was hooked on cooking shows, and I wouldn't necessarily make all of the meals that I was learning about, but I learned how to chop properly from the chefs, and I learned how to saute well. I also did learn a lot from my parents. Some of the things they taught me have lasted throughout my lifetime thus far. I was introduced to making meals for the family and whatnot at an early age, and I helped my mom and my dad in the kitchen a fair amount. And at the time I didn't appreciate it, but now, like, you know what, I appreciate that now. I see the benefits, and I'm able to make meals out of like this most uncommon, or not uncommon, but out of ingredients that you wouldn't think would necessarily go together. If you know how to combine spices, and they don't need to be elaborate spices, it can be as simple as some garlic, some butter, some salt, maybe black pepper, depending, because black pepper can change the flavor profile of any meal. But yeah, you have some salt, pepper, you got garlic, tomato, onion. You're good to go, my friend. Then you can add anything to that pretty much, and then you vary the amounts to change up the flavor of whatever you're cooking. If you're cooking meats and whatnot, or if you're cooking something lighter like fish or shrimp. So yeah, cooking is kind of, I like to remind people that cooking is science. It is science. I don't follow recipes to a T. I am so homely, as my grandma used to say, that I learn the gist of what's going on, and then I try to do it in my way, like Mr. Frank Sinatra said. Was it him? I did it my way. And it's not about being egotistical or anything like that, but you always want to explore who you are, what you can do, what you like. This I'm going to use half of it, and I'm going to use the second half for lunch tomorrow. So I'll leave that fresh. Just going to chop up a bit of this portobello mushroom, add it to stir fry. So how fast was that? See, not too bad. And they don't need to be in any particular order, because I'm just going to throw it into the skillet, quickly stir it up with a little bit of seasoning, and then add the can of salmon. So the little tomatoes that I've picked, off the vine, I'm not going to cook these because that would be sacrilege. Oh my god, that would just be terrible. So I'm going to eat them raw. Sorry, little tomatoes, but it's the circle of life. Okay, so the veggies are finished, and now I'm just going to chop up the cilantro. First we chop off the little bits there. Now I'm not saying this is one of my most favorite meals, but it's up there. I mean, this is what my energy imagined having, and it led me to making this today. I could have just come home and made something really quick, like a cold wrap with just cold vegetables and avocado, maybe crackle a can of tuna for the protein. But we'll save that for another day. Today, this is what's going on. And I'm making extras so that I can have some for lunch tomorrow. Alright, we're going to flip this around. And when you cook rustically, which is style. I like the rough edges or the irregular edges and whatnot. I don't need to chop everything too finely or too small. Don't need to be so picky, right? We can just be creative. And I can go a bit faster, but I want to make sure I get through this in one go. I learned an Asian saying once, and it stayed with me. I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese or what, but it's profound, and I've tested it out a couple times, especially when I'm running late in the mornings. When you're in a hurry, go slow. Because when we're in a hurry and we're trying to go real fast, that's when we can make mistakes and miss things and then delay ourselves without intending to. So just go slowly, but not slow like you're, dilly-dallying. Doesn't mean that. It just means be focused on what you're doing and everything will work out. Okay, so there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Oh, I missed the red bell pepper. Okay, we'll do the red bell pepper after. We can throw it in when the other veggies are cooking. Okay, now we're going to shift the angle once again. This time I'm going to show you the stove. Okay, so here we have the skillet. It's warming up. It's not on maximum. I have it at about medium heat. To this, instead of olive oil, today I'm going to use some organic butter because that's what I feel like. And we're going to saute some garlic in this. So I'm going to add a good little heaping of butter because I'm running low on fats. In addition to the butter, also going to add the rest of this spicy miso chili sauce. So it's primarily it's got some sesame oil, sesame seeds, some chili. I can read you the ingredients in a bit. It's going to add a little bit of spiciness to this meal. And to get all the good little bits out of here, I'm going to put some water in this jar, shake it up, and then we'll pour it in after everything's been cooking for a little bit. So there we go. Now we're going to move a little fast. To this, I'm also going to add some garlic. I think seafood and garlic just go hand in hand, don't you think? Chewy is going through some zoomies right now. I don't know what's up with this kitty cat. And just like that, so we stir it around a little bit, just to get the flavors going. My taste buds are going. Oh my goodness, I'm already starting to salivate. So we're going to toss in the broccoli first, although there's no real rhyme or order. And the onion. I'm going to save the mushrooms to the end. So everything's going to go quick, fast. Okay, the chilies are also sneaking in there. The tomatoes. The tomatoes I'm going to toss in as well so that they can become more liquidy. And yeah, we'll save this for the end. Uh-oh. Almost lost one. Yikes. Alright. Now for a little bit of salt. I'm actually going to just freestyle this. You gotta know, you need to know your abilities. So it looks like a lot, but it's not. It's not even 1 teaspoon. It's just a smattering. I don't want to reach in with my fingers to pinch it. There's that. I'll add these when the sauce is cooking. Turn up the heat a little bit. And to help speed up the process, I'm going to put the lid on this while I open the can of salmon. Oh, I need to move this a little bit. Sorry. Sorry for repositioning you while we're doing this. We gotta go fast. Should I save you some salmon, okay? Okay, so the salmon has been opened. It's ready to get dunked in. Sauce and all, because we want saucy. Because I love my little chewies extra much, I'm going to share some of this with her as well. Yes, I know. You know everything, Chewy. I keep pushing doors. Alrighty. I think it's time to stir it up, these little darlings. And look at the color. Delicious. Gonna add this in. Create a little spot here. Throw it in. Stack of salmon you can actually get on Amazon as well. I know I really need to do some Amazon links. I use Amazon for everything now. Okay, so there we have the salmon. And while that's cooking, I'm also now about to add the rest of there's enough in here. Enough items. And finally, the chopped herbs. Herbs in all different kinds of forms, so good for us. Those of you who like the green, you know what I mean. Herbs the word. Okay, see? Look at how this just looks so healthy. Oh my gosh. And now the aroma has changed to a little bit more green and fresh and not so fishy. Yes, I make a mess when I'm cooking. Alright, so let's let that simmer down for a little bit. Tidy up the shot a tiny bit more. Just going to add a dollop of the... Because I love it, I'm going to add, yes, my dollop is an actual dollop of the Dijon mustard. I love how this tastes with tuna. Yes. Okay, maybe I will quickly chop up some of that red pepper just to add another bit of dimension to this. The Damien's Oscar, it's a Hotel Oscar Tango H-O-T, hot sauce. A little bit more ziness, zestiness. So we're going to replace some of the moisture that is evaporating while the lid is not on. I want to get all the good little bits from this because it's quite expensive. It's like $18 for this little jar. Okay, so there we go. Just going to add it all around. So we're going to have another dimension of flavor. It's very Christmassy to me. Alright, so those are ready. Even it out a little bit. Oops, I'm making more of a mess, but that's okay. Let that cook for a quick little minute. And I'm going to chop up behind the scenes a bit of red bell pepper for that last splash of color. Hopefully you can hear me. And quick, fast, just like that. Boom, shakalak. Now, how festive and delicious does this look to you, boys and girls? Oh, I forgot a main ingredient. It's not a well, it's another herb, but rosemary. So I'm going to quickly grab some rosemary. Let this cook a little bit. And the bay leaf. Yes, yes. We're getting everything. rosemary, also good for our immune systems. And the bay leaves. The bay leaves I'm just going to crush. Now, if you're not a fan of bay leaves, that's quite alright. You can also, I think there's finely crushed bay leaves available for purchase. These, it's a little tough to eat if they're not cooked thoroughly, especially the spines. But I'm used to it. I know what I'm in for. It's all good. Okay, so it's not all super pretty. My stove, we lost some. My stove is a little messy now, but that's what happens with real cooking, right? I don't have someone here to edit out all the errors and whatnot. So I'm going to cover this, turn down the heat to about medium-low, let it cook for, let's say, 12 minutes. Why? I don't know, it's a random number, but it seems like sufficient time. I'm going to tidy up and get the plating part going. Hopefully the noises are piquing your interest. Keep the water for drinking after. Chewy's little snack. Okay, I'm going to turn this off and do the stove. Don't know if you can see this. Hopefully you can. As if there weren't enough greens in this meal, I've gone ahead and quickly rinsed some fresh arugula, upon which I'll place a dollop of the cooked, warm, delicious meal. And on the side, I'm going to toast. For the side, I'm going to toast a, oh, I sure did make a mess, a wrap. And then we can dip and eat put some in the wrap if we want. There's so many options, right? Look at how quickly that cleaned up. Cleans up well, huh? Gonna get this all toasted up, one of them. Lightly toasted because we want it pliable. Pour a nice mug of water. Or a nice jar of water. I know when I drink this, I'm getting a sufficient amount of hydration, which is beautiful. Let's remove this. Stir it up a bit, so maybe it got a little more cooked than I had wanted to, but oh well. It's still going to be fine because the colors aren't as vibrant and I keep making this huge mess. Ah! It's hot. Quick fast just like this. I'm going to have a nice big helping because I'm hungry today. Saucy, it's delicious, it's healthy, and nutritious. So this I'll remove from the stove top, put the lid back on, this here, pop the wrap, toasting the other side of the wrap, and then that'll be it. So here's a nice toasted wrap. Very quickly toast one half and then you pop in the other half into the toaster, fold it, boom. Look at that. I'm sure you will agree, it's pretty healthy looking. It smells delicious and I can't wait to dive in. So thank you once again for tuning in. I super duper appreciate it. I hope you learned something from this. I hope, what else? That you were inspired and that perhaps you will share a nifty, healthy, delicious meal idea with me. Until our paths cross once again, one and all, thank you for tuning in. Stay well, be great, peace out. 4